Hi everybody, thank you for joining me. It's really nice to be with you today. This is your weekly horoscope for Monday the 14th of August, going through until Sunday the 20th of August. I hope you've had a really good month so far. I've had a look at this week. It's a positive week, but from Monday to Friday really, there's still a lot of emotion floating around because we've got Venus in Cancer. But then the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's a real change in the energy. So I'm going to go through this day by day just to give you an idea of what the energies are coming up for each day of the week here. And to start with, Monday, the 14th of August, we've got the moon in Taurus. When the moon is in Taurus, it's very much focused on practical things, being grounded, the earth, nature. And that forms a relationship with Mars in Leo and the sun in Leo. So we're in Leo season. It's August. Happy birthday, all you wonderful Leos out there. And it's a great time of year. There's fire out everywhere if we're in the northern hemisphere because things are blossoming and blooming and there's just energy and fun all over the place. The moon also trines Mercury, which has now gone retrograde. Remember, Mercury, the communication planet, went retrograde on the 12th of August, and it will stay in retrograde until the 5th of September. Mercury retrograde, have a look at the monthly forecast for your sign of the horoscope. So if you're a Virgo, or if you're a Leo, or Aquarius, or Pisces, have a look at that because it gives you more information about how the Mercury retrograde affects you specifically, because I look at what house it's in for your sign. So the area of life will be shown to you where you have to pay attention most, okay? Because Mercury retrograde makes communication more stifled and difficult, we learn from it, but there's room for error. So have a look at the video for your sun sign and your rising sign if you want to get really detailed and get the information where your Mercury retrograde is occurring. So this retrograde is in Virgo, and it trines Pluto in Capricorn. So on Monday, you're going to go into the week feeling really grounded, more grounded than usual, with greater certainty, energy, and focus. So you may have the desire even to break away from everything and to transform your life, but remember that Mercury is in retrograde and that there is room for error. And it sounds to me like this is a bit of a trap. I feel super great, I feel super confident, I can do whatever I want in my life, and then Mercury retrograde is hanging around. It's going to say, well, actually, it looked great, but then it didn't work out. So if you're going to take major big action, remember that Mercury is in retrograde, and just make sure that all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed. And what I mean by that is that you really make certain that there are no errors involved. Because when Mercury goes retrograde, errors just become more common. So of course you can still take action during Mercury retrograde. It's not like your life stops, you know? Mercury retrogrades 4 times this year. So it's not like we can just sit in our flats or houses for the 2 weeks it goes retrograde. We still have to live our lives. So don't worry about it in the sense of, oh, everything's going to go wrong. Just make sure that you look at things carefully. If you're buying a car, just make sure that the percentage rate is clear and that you don't just assume it's 4% and then you end up with 44%, okay? Then Tuesday, the 15th of August, we have the moon going into Gemini at 7 minutes past 2 in the afternoon, and my horoscopes are based on UK time. So if you're in the States, the moon is going to go into Gemini early in the morning for you on Tuesday. And if you're in Australia, it's going to go into Gemini very late at night, like 10 p.m. or something, okay? It's not like, you know, on the dot, 2:07, it's like, oh, suddenly I feel differently because the moon has moved into Gemini. These are organic energies, okay? So don't get too hung up on the timings. The moon does go into Gemini on Tuesday. Venus is still in Cancer and it opposes Pluto in Capricorn today. So with the moon change, communication becomes lighter, less concrete, you know, focused on details, and more abstract, kind of more ideas and thinking. Ideas and concepts will become more interesting to you. The Venus and Pluto opposition indicates there could be significant changes in your romantic life. A relationship can end today or begin today. Venus in Cancer opposing Pluto in Capricorn is heavy stuff. Venus in Cancer is the planet of love and beauty, and in Cancer, she's at her most idealistic and sensitive and loving and nurturing, and she wears her heart on her sleeve. She really wants love, okay? She's really into all of these loving feelings. Pluto in Capricorn is pretty brutal. Pluto is about transformation and change. It doesn't care about feelings. It's the phoenix rising from the ashes. It's life and death. It's serious, okay? It's really big, actual, tangible changes in your life. And with Venus in Cancer opposing Pluto in Capricorn, big changes in your love life can occur on this day. So obviously try and begin a relationship if you've had your eye on someone. I was driving around yesterday with a friend of mine, and she was in the car and she was looking for this guy in town that she really fancies, and when she drives around she looks for him. So if you were like that girl who gave me a lift yesterday, then say hello to the guy. Say, I've noticed you around. That's like a song in that. I've noticed you around. I'm not going to finish it because it's a rude song. Anyway, and if you're in a negative relationship but you've been terrified of ending it, because some people can find it very, very difficult, like myself, to end relationships, and you stay in them longer than they actually serve you. So if you are in a negative relationship that you know has been rubbishy for years, then this is the day where something can end, and that would be a positive then. On Wednesday, the 16th of August, the Gemini moon squares Mercury retrograde in Virgo. So Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Virgo is about information coming in, breaking it down, making sense of it. Gemini is about expressing yourself, communicating, being interested in learning. So the fact that these two square each other, there's a conflict between, do I speak or do I receive information? With Mercury being retrograde, both are kind of challenged. What also happens on this day, Venus is still in Cancer, and today it squares Jupiter, the good luck planet, which is in Libra, all about other people, and it trines the moon. So, despite the retrograde on this day, communication is really, really good, because the Gemini moon kind of mitigates the effects of the Mercury retrograde to some effect, to some degree, I mean. And it's another positive day for relationships of all types. So being around others or with loved ones is going to be sensational today. It will feel sensational. So the Mercury retrograde really isn't that brutal here on Wednesday, the 16th of August, and you can have a wonderful time. And it's a positive time for all types of relationships, which includes love and romance. Thursday, the 17th of August, we've got the moon going into Cancer now at 14 minutes past 4 in the afternoon. And the moon is really the part of ourselves that is that has to do with how we feel on the inside and what gives us a sense of kind of ease and comfort. Okay, so if your moon in your birth chart is in Cancer, like it is here on Thursday the 17th, what's really going to make you feel at peace and at ease, and what's going to give you a sense of fulfillment, is nurturing other people, being intuitive, being creative, enjoying the family unit, really being loyal, expressing your feelings, being affectionate and loving. And with the moon going into Cancer, we're all now going to feel more loving and emotional. Remember, we've got Venus in Cancer as well, so it is a very emotional, loving time. Venus in Cancer continues to square Jupiter in Libra, and a square is when two planets are 90 degrees apart and they cause friction. So Venus in Cancer is sitting there saying, I want to take care of someone, I want to love someone, I want to be with someone. Jupiter is good luck, and it's in Libra, so it says, well, I will bring the people to you. If you put yourself out there, I will make you very lucky, and I will bring the people to you. I will build the bridges so that the people come to you or you come to them, and that you meet the people you want to meet, and that things turn out positively. Okay? So Thursday, there's friction in the sense that you want to communicate with people, but you may be afraid of becoming overly familiar or involved, and that's the Mercury retrograde. Emotionally, you're very sensitive at the moment anyway, and communication can be derailed by your strong emotions, which come in and govern your thinking. So it's important to not only go with your feelings and not to completely throw reason and rational, being reasonable and rational and logic, don't throw all of that out the window. You need a balance between thoughts and feelings. And because Jupiter is involved and Mercury is in retrograde, yes, it's not an ideal time. You can potentially be derailed by your strong emotions if you get out of balance. But because Jupiter is there, it's good luck. And it means that it's very unlikely that you're going to have a very unusual, eccentric moment with other people, or that you're going to show yourself up or be embarrassed or say the wrong thing or what. That can also happen during a Mercury retrograde, that you just put your foot in it and you just say the wrong thing, unfortunately. But Jupiter in Libra is the good luck planet, and that's going to help you to not be derailed and have negative communicative experiences, okay? Friday, the 18th of August, the moon in Cancer conjuncts Venus in Cancer, so both in Cancer, they continue to square Jupiter, the lucky planet, and all three of those then form a sextile with Mercury, which is in retrograde. So on this day, Friday now, emotions are taking precedence, and logic and reason are really not your strong suits, okay? It's all about feelings. So tread really carefully on this day. If you feel like you need to absolutely say something to someone, it's your true feeling. Once it's said, you can't unsay it. Be very careful. Especially be careful if you're putting your heart on the line, you know? Like if you've got a friend and you over time you've just fallen in love with that friend and you don't know if it's mutual. And now on Friday the 18th, your emotions are totally overtaking any logic or reason or common sense, and you just suddenly, you're doing your friendship thing and you blurt out, oh my God, I love you, then that can't be unsaid, and that potentially can absolutely ruin a friendship. Because once you say that to a friend, changes the dynamic completely, and unless they love you back, you can potentially lose a friend. So I would suggest to tread carefully today, because your emotions are running riot and they're really taking you hostage a little bit. And your logic and reason are over there somewhere. Bye-bye. Okay, so the thing is, if you're already in a wonderful, happy relationship and the emotions take over today on Friday, then that's great, because the two of you can spend all day rolling around in bed, or talking to each other all day, if that's how you connect and bond. If it's through communication or intimacy or whatever it is, it's all about the emotions on Friday, the 18th. Now, things change at the weekend. Like I said, on Saturday, the 19th of August, the moon goes into Leo at 5:56 p.m. So the moon, I've talked about this internal, vibration, how we feel. In Leo is totally different to Cancer, because Cancer is all about nurturing and being, quiet and dependable and loving and loyal. Leo is confident, it's fun-loving, it's enthusiastic, it loves children, it loves music, it loves excitement, it loves thrills and adventures and being in the public eye and performing and being center stage. So on Saturday, you're going to feel much more confidence and optimism and far less fear when it comes to relationships. Relationships are relevant this week because Venus is in Cancer, and a lot of you are going to be thinking about relationships because Venus is in Cancer. Whether you're single, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're married, whether you're divorced, whether you've decided you're never going to be in a relationship, Venus in Cancer will force you, in a sense, to focus on relationships. I've had to focus on relationships the last couple of weeks, and it's been a problem. And Venus in Cancer does that. So Saturday improves. You have much more confidence and optimism when it comes to these kind of things. So if you're someone who's dating, then wait till the weekend, because it's not going to be such an ordeal, and you're not going to take it so seriously, and you're not going to wear your heart on your sleeve so much, and you'll see it as more of an entertainment and as a fun thing to do with someone. Okay? Because dates can be fun. It depends on your perspective. If you go in there not expecting anything and you're just meeting someone, you're socializing, and it doesn't mean anything, then that's fun. But if it's like, okay, this is my last chance to find my soulmate. If this doesn't work out, I'm going to be alone forever. Then that's not fun, and you're putting loads of pressure on yourself. So on Saturday, anything involved in that kind of area of life is going to feel far less stressful, and connecting with others is now going to feel much more pleasurable and positive than it did earlier in the week. Okay, moving on to Sunday the 20th of August, we've got the Leo moon conjuncting Mars in Leo. Mars is the male principle. It's what I want, what I'm never going to compromise on. I'm the man, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get it for myself, I'm going to build it, I'm going to make it. It's energy. And in Leo, it's a bit of a monster. I mean, Mars rules Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac, and it's about pushing through obstacles and moving forward, okay? In Leo, it's like, rawr. It's like this giant lion. I want everything. I want all the passion, all the excitement, all the thrills. I want to have all the fun. And I want everything to be exciting and fun. The good thing is that it sextiles Jupiter in Libra, so it's actually likely that there will be those fun, exciting, amazing experiences in your life. So Sunday, within yourself, you have great confidence and a definite knowing of what or who it is that you desire. It's going to be really clear. There's no, maybe. It's going to be like, there, now. You come across very well today, even though Mars is in Leo and it's a bit much. You come across very well today, and good luck is on your side. That's Jupiter's doing. It kind of makes you appear very refined and elegant and interesting and mysterious even, whereas your Mars in Leo just makes you, you know, a raging lunatic a little bit. Not a raging lunatic, I'm exaggerating. It just makes you really want a thrill and to get your kicks and to have your enjoyment needs fulfilled and met. So, good luck is on your side on Sunday. So, it's been a week to do with relationships, and that's mainly because of Venus in Cancer. So, the thumbnail on this video is going to be Venus in Cancer. So, it has been a week of relationships. Sunday is the best day for relationships in the entire week. So, if you want to get things started with a new relationship, Sunday is really the ideal thing. If you're stuck in a bad relationship that you haven't had the chance or ability to come out of, Tuesday is the best day for that, okay? Now, please do remember that the total solar eclipse happens on Monday, the 21st of August. I've made a separate video on that because it's an eclipse, but it's also the effects of an eclipse last for about 6 months. And I look at the whole chart and it's quite complicated. So I go into a lot of detail in that separate video. So just type in solar eclipse Gregory Scott and you'll find it. It's going to be a total solar eclipse in the US. I think it's from Oregon to South Carolina, if I remember correctly. Yeah, and it's going to be a partial one in Canada. So if you're in Canada, you'll still see the eclipse because you're higher up. It's not going to be a total eclipse. It's going to be a partial eclipse. So a lady got in touch with me yesterday on Twitter, and she's got her glasses already, and she's ready for the eclipse and she's ready to go. So make sure if you're in the States, these solar eclipses are they're really fascinating. It looks so amazing. The first one I saw was when I was a child. I think I was about 5 and it was in Germany, and I had just finished swimming and we went outside, and the moon went in front of the sun and everything turned to twilight. It was this weird light. It wasn't like dusk, you know, when it's dusky and it gets all purpley and mysterious. It was that, yeah, it was that magical time between, you know, night and day. And what was so interesting is that the birds stopped singing and it got colder immediately. And it was like, oh my God, the sun that I've always just taken for granted, what if it was blocked out? It was like, oh, the sun isn't as reliable as I thought. And the sun is not reliable. It's going to burn itself out in a couple of billion years. You know, it's not going to go on forever and ever and ever. It's a giant fiery gas thing that's going to burn itself out eventually. So these solar eclipses are really fascinating. And if you're someone like me who loves symbols and who reads into things, just the experience of it and your environment changing like that and the birds quietening down, and if you look around at all the other people and how mesmerized they are, it's really a magical experience. So make sure that you get involved in it or you watch it or something. It's really fun. If you can't do it, I mentioned this film last week already, Dolores Claiborne. It's a film, Kathy Bates is in it. It's a Stephen King book, so, you know, bit of, you know, Stephen King does horror, so it's not for everybody. But there's a solar eclipse in that one, and it's about Dolores getting rid of her husband during the eclipse, and she uses the eclipse as a cover. So it's really, you know, it's timely for what we're experiencing now. So there you go. So the film in the 90s, so it's kind of old, but, you know, it's still good. I've totally gone off track. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week. If you would like a private reading with me, then please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the Readings tab to order your reading. What I do is I draw up your birth chart by using your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, I can use sunrise, or I can rectify the chart, so I can work out your time of birth by looking at certain info. So that's a blueprint of your soul. I can see what your life mission is, what your vocational aptitudes are, what your strengths and weaknesses are, what you have to transform, where the ego is sabotaging you. And then I put your progress charts around that and your transits, which shows me how you're developing over time and how you're going to continue to develop, what's going on in the heavens right now and how that's going to influence you, like the solar eclipse, for instance. Also, if you don't have the ability to have a personal reading, you know, not everyone is able to afford it, which is why I make these free videos on YouTube. If you're not able to do that, then look at the monthly video for your sun sign as well, because I talk about the eclipse in that, and I talk about what house the eclipse is going to fall in for your sun sign. And your sun sign is basically the sign that you read in your horoscope, okay? If your sun sign is Virgo, then you're a Virgo. Your rising sign is something else. If you know a little bit about astrology, then also watch the video for the rising sign. But if you're a beginner and you know that you're a Libra, because you were born in October, end of September, October, then look at that video and we'll tell you what area of your life this solar eclipse is going to happen in. And then that is almost as good as a personal reading. It's for all Aries or for all Taurus, for all Geminis, so it does narrow it down. But if I have your actual details, I can really, really narrow it down. But without having a reading, those monthly videos for each sign of the zodiac are the best and most specific information that you're going to get. So check those out. Have a wonderful week. I will speak to you next week for the weekly horoscope. Check out my daily tarot readings as well, those monthly horoscopes, and I also do vlogs and things, so if you're interested in that, have a look. It's been a pleasure doing this report for you. I feel so lucky that I get to do these. So guys, thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll speak to you next week.